Hi everyone. Kindly confirm you can hear me and also see my screen.
Yeah, we can do.
All right. So good morning everyone. I'm Oluwatobi Yusuf from Nigeria. All right. So thanks to the first to the keynote speaker, he really has covered a lot in this section, and I wouldn't want to replicate that. So I'll be doing a little bit of more hands-on. All right, so I'll be speaking on jumpstarting your software development with Microsoft Power Platform. Apologies. Okay. So today I'll be speaking together with Mayowa, and Mayowa is a Microsoft MCT and also a business, a Power Platform developer in Lagos, Nigeria. And he started his Power Platform journey during his undergraduate days. So this is just to encourage other people who are there, who are students, to let you know that these are tools you can begin to use while you're still in school. You don't need to be a graduate or be in the labor market before you start using this tool. And MyOY is actually an example to show that it socializes with Power Platform and RPA skills, an RPA rather, and it uses the skills to transform on business processes. And like I said, is an MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and he will be speaking alongside me. On the other hand, I'm Oluwatobi Yusuf. I call myself a low-code advocate and developer. I'm also a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional and a team lead at AXA Mansard. As a low-code advocate, I advocate for low-code tools such as the Power Platform. And as the MVP, Microsoft MVP, I'm being recognized for my community leadership and technical expertise. And as the business process engineering lead at my place of work or my current place of work, I lead the team that streamline the business processes and make it more efficient and productive. In short, I just look into what my business or what the business does. I work in an insurance company. I understand what insurance is all about, what the business does, and I try to automate all of those processes, build apps around them, leveraging the low code. Okay. So today we'll be talking about our agenda for today, myself and my work. We'll be talking about the digital movement in the 21st century. I won't dwell so much on this because the keynote speaker actually did justification to this. Then we'll talk about what the solution to that issue is and get started with low code. Then we just do a little hands-on demo. All right. Okay, so like I said, I won't dwell too much on this. The keynote speaker spoke to how the world has evolved. And just to recite on that, the world has evolved. There was a time when you want to pass information across to someone else, you need to travel that far to that person's location. Like I'm in Nigeria, and this section, is anchored or hosted there in South Africa. So previously, I would need to travel to South Africa to deliver this speech. But thanks to technology, I can do this from the comfort of my home. So that's the same way tech will keep evolving, and now we know that we are moving towards this era of, artificial intelligence, machine learning, things like that. So we have things like ChatGPT coming up. And this is like the future of technology. And we all know that it's not going to stop there. It's going to keep extending and expanding. So moving on, in this new era, just to speak on also what the first speaker spoke on, things we are looking at in this new era will be decentralization of skills or systems. What this simply means is that gone are those days where all of the technical work depends on the IT team. Now in an organization, for example, my organization, we no longer depend on the IT team for all of our issues. I come in when we need to build a rapid solution to solve business problems. We need to solve internal issues. We don't need to, bring in the IT teams to come and build all of those. We bring in the IT team, where we need to interact. That is where we need to interact. We need to use our tool to interact with an external tool. So that's where we bring in the IT team, or a more complex and sophisticated system. We can then bring in the IT teams. But for simple business processes, we don't bring in the IT team. We leverage the Power Platform local to do that. And that's where this era of tech is, or technology is actually going to, where business users themselves can begin to build simple solutions, simple applications to solve their problems instead of relying on IT to build each of those solutions from code. Leveraging the low code, you can easily just jump on your system and build a low code solution. And why is that? That's also speaking to another keynote I would like to pick up from here, which is speed of delivery. Right now, employers are more after the speed of delivery. How fast can you deliver this product? Oh, I need to optimize this process, and it's key for our customers. We are losing a number of customers because we are not able to deliver something on time. But I believe if we have this solution, this application, we will be able to deliver on time. But how fast can we do the application? We were to bring in the IT team, and the application might be just a simple one, something just to collect an approval, just to collect like an information, some things as simple as that. So bring instead of us having to start building a portal using APIs and all of those, we can just leverage the low-code tool, and from the low-code tool, we can begin to automate. We can begin to build applications on real time. Okay, so and also increase productivity because you can deliver on time, you can do your work more efficiently. Definitely, that increases your productivity as an employer, and this is what as an employee rather, and this is what employers are looking out for. They are looking out for employees that can optimize and use, a lot of these skill sets or these tools they have to, increase their productivity. And a quote my mentor do say is, AI, machine learning won't steal your job, won't send you packing. It is the people who can use this tool, who can use AI. It is the people who can use machine learning that will lay you off from your job. That's a quote my mentor do say, and I do quote that, when I speak. So AI and machine learning itself won't steal your job, but the people who know how to leverage this are the people who would actually come for your job. And us bringing this to you is telling you that you yourself can be those people who can use AI and artificial intelligence without coding, leveraging the low code. All right, so moving on, the keynote speaker spoke about digital growth and all of this. So I won't dwell much on this. And I would like to say, or just recite that low code is the solution. Low code will help you solve problem faster, bring the solution to you as the business users without having to always run to the IT. And why Power Platform? Very simple. Microsoft is actually the leading, is a leader in that technology. And like the keynote speaker said, Power Platform is the most adopted, to be sincere, and it's complete, most adopted and complete suite. You have the application for building the front end. You have the automation for running the, just like a middleware, like APIs, the connector. You have the automation for automating those processes. You have Power BI for visualizing and analyzing your data. You have Power Virtual Agent, which is a chatbot, like I'll show you through all of those. And you have Power Pages, which is like a local website for interfacing with external persons. All right. So moving on, I'll just bring in my co-speaker to just speak to, Power Platform and Power Automate while I do a little, I show you how this platform looks like. So Maiwa.
All right, thank you, Toby. Thank you for that introduction. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, or good anywhere you are basically. So my name is Ogbeide Oluwamayowa from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'll basically be running you through building softwares using the Power Apps, the Power Platform, basically. As a business transformation analyst, that's basically what I utilize to make the processes within my company easy and seamless for those that are in any particular department. So what do I do as a business transformation analyst? So my main purpose is basically to make the lives of the employee easier, basically to automate their processes and make their work seamless for them. And how do I now use the Power Platform? So I mainly make use of Power Apps, Power Automate, those are one of the tools that have been immensely useful for me as a business transformation analyst. So Power Apps, well, what's Power Apps basically? The previous speaker basically run us through what Power Apps. So Power is basically making low-code softwares that bring about low-code softwares that basically are able to cater and fix the problem of an organization. And the low-code softwares in the sense that they are built using low-code functions that you could have already experienced if you made use of software like Excel, and low-code because it is easier to build and doesn't take as much time like a native developer would take. Let's say you were building an application, they might use up to like 6 months, but in your case, you may use up to a month to get and basically deploy that solution for your company. So what does Power Apps do in essence? It basically supports any platform, any major platform. It gives you access to device capabilities like GPS, camera, pen. You are able to share documents even in Power Apps, and it has seamless integrations with the solutions of like it has seamless integrations with other Microsoft products. I could also go as far as using custom APIs. That's if you are trying to interact with data that are basically outside the Microsoft environment. This in essence actually paid service, but you're still able to achieve what you are actually going for. And as extensive model, there's basically no limits. A product can also come in and basically build up on what Power Apps. That's when like previous speaker talked about fusion development. That's when a native developer is able to utilize and bring up more capabilities in Power Apps. And as a what you see is what you get design experience. To be my run a straight demo, I also have a demo of an app that I had built for basically text reservation. Power Apps also gives us the ability. So I talked about what you see is what you get. So a UI UX designer could design something for you and you could actually be able to replicate it in Power Apps. Now, data connectivity in the sense that you have access to over 900 plus connectors, which you can use to bring data into your into your Power Apps. And built-in data platform, you could utilize one of the major data like the data collection platform in Microsoft, which is Microsoft Dataverse, or you could also make use of SharePoint. And App Logic, basically in sense like I previously mentioned, Excel, if you've used Excel previously, it wouldn't be as intensive. You would actually be able to understand what is going on in Power Apps, and it's easier for you to actually flow with. Next slide to be. To be in the next slide. Okay, so I think I'll just share my screen since Toby is in. Okay, so I would just like to talk about also Power Automate. Power Automate. Previously, I talked about Power Apps. Now, Toby mentioned that we have a front view, a middle view, and a back-end view. So the front view, in essence, could be Power Apps. That's basically what you are seeing and what you're able to interact with. And the middle view could be Power Automate. Power Automate in the sense that when you click on something or you perform an action, it sends a response to maybe your manager or who you're trying to basically send out notifications to. And I'll also talk about the back end view that would basically be a data source. Power Automate basically gives you the ability to automate business processes, the ability to send notification when you click on a button, the ability to run an extensive process, just like we were shown in the Coca-Cola video previously. You could also share flows like documents. Let's say you built a flow and you would like to share it to a particular user. It's able to seamlessly integrate with other Microsoft products. So we could bring flows in Power Apps, we could bring flows in Power BI. You could literally use flows to its full capability by integrating it with other Microsoft products. Extensive model, there are no limits. Automate advanced. So Power Automate can also be like broken down. Actually, we have the Power Automate, which is one that resides on the cloud, and we also have the Power Automate desktop, which is the RPA tool for Microsoft. RPA basically stands for robotic process automation. So let's say you're trying to automate a legacy app that doesn't have an API connection, or it sits on a desktop. Now, how do we automate this? We could make use of Power Automate Desktop, which would basically be able to automate these processes for us. Just as what you see is what you get design, just like Power Apps, and you are able to, it's just like a drag and drop. What you see is what you get actually, and you're able to connect, um, you're able to connect with other other connectors basically. So built-in data platform, just like I mentioned previously, and the logic and automation. So you follow the simple logic. You don't have to be stressing so much. Basically, what starts the flow, the trigger, what's basically going to start this flow that you built. That's what we call the trigger. The trigger in the sense that when a button is clicked, move on to this. When a button is clicked, send an email that I have received this your notification. Next, next, next slide, please. Hi, Toby, next slide. Okay, so I basically talked about the front view, the middleware view, and the backend view. So the backend view could be your Microsoft Dataverse, or it could be your Microsoft SharePoint. So as someone that basically makes use of SharePoint the most, because it's easier in a sense, but we also have two type of Power Apps. We have the Canvas app and we have the model driven app. So the model driven app basically utilizes Microsoft Dataverse. What's the key difference between the Canvas and the model driven app? The Canvas app, we have more freedom to actually be able to design our screens, the look and feel. But in model driven apps, it basically creates an app based on the data that you have sitting on the Microsoft Dataverse. And combining these two, the front end, the middleware, and the back end, you have a fully functional app that you are able to deploy to the you're able to deploy to users within your organization, which will basically make their work easier. And so how, for example, have I been able to do that in my organization? I've been able to build a flow for the legal I've been able to build a flow basically for the finance department in my organization that basically just requires them to upload an Excel document to a SharePoint list. And what it does is that when that file is uploaded, a flow is triggered that basically extracts an Excel, basically creates an Excel file from that particular file that was uploaded, extracts it, and then sends it out to our customers, basically an invoice on what they purchased within our company. So these apps together, they work and they basically make use of the term that we call in Microsoft better together, meaning that every app works fabulously alone, but when they work together, they are a force to reckon with. So I would just like to give it to Toby to show us the demo. Okay, no, I would basically show you my demo and then I'll just move over to Toby to show you his own demo. So kindly confirm if you can see my screen. Kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah, sure, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so this is an app that was basically built with Power Apps and basically, like I said, the front end, Power Apps, the back end, SharePoint, the middle ground, and Power Automate. It's as simple as the designs and everything was built by UX, and I basically just implemented those designs to get started. Select your office, and yeah, you have it. You can actually choose a text to reserve, select a date, and then I can choose to reserve this text. Reserve. And if I was to go into that Dex ad just reserved now, you notice that previously it was giving it up as available, but now it's going to be reserved and I won't have the ability to actually click on it anymore. So these are just logics that were implemented into this simple app, which basically, and yeah, I actually would have gotten a notification in my email that I have reserved the decks, and probably if there are more notifications to be sent out, probably my line manager that, oh, this person has reserved these decks for these dates. Also, let's say, for example, I don't want to actually reserve open workspace. Just want to reserve the classroom. So these are all logic that were implemented into this app, and you have a fully functional app on your end that basically does what you want it to do, and it makes the lives of people within your company easier and seamless. So I'll just give you back to Toby. Toby, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Mayowa. Please kindly confirm my screen is up now and you can see and hear me.
Yeah, it's up.
All right. So thanks a lot for that. Yes, I'm about to build a destination. I don't know how it is there in South Africa, but I know here in Nigeria, you have places like that. You have people calling in, like, oh, can you reserve this desk? And somebody else calling for that same desk. And because there's no proper record and all of those, there's a mix up. But with this tool that Mayowa just showed us, there can't be any mix up, because once you reserve the desk, that means nobody else can see that deck, so it will be open for somebody else to reserve it. And you can see has been able to digitalize and leverage power apps. And that's low code. That's low code for you. Okay, so for me, I would just run you through how the Power Platform or the Power Apps looks like. Now, when you come to Power Apps, mind you, the first speaker actually spoke to what which is the developer account, which is what I have, and this is my developer account. And how do you recognize the developer account is with it has an email with .microsoft.com, and you can have an organizational account, within the organization. So you can see my screen, you see this is my developer account. Freedom, I have seen your hand. If you don't mind, I would take questions. I will take questions after the section so that we can wrap up on time for the next speaker to come up. We'll take after our section.
The thing is, we cannot see your screen. Okay, so the problem is that we cannot see your screen. As much as we appreciate you moving forward, but the screen is not reflecting. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Apologies. I would share that again. Okay. So how about now? Is it up?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's
okay,
up.
we can see it now.
Yeah,
yes, we can see now.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay, so I was just running through the Microsoft Office developer account. If you open it, how do you recognize that it's with a .microsoft.com? That's for those that you can be a student and you want to open an account like this. So just go to Microsoft 365 developer account, and it gives you a step-by-step guide. And I believe the anchors of this or the host of this will also drop a material on that so that you can go on and open these accounts. So next up, I'm sharing my Power Apps homepage. Can you see that? Am I about place? Can let me confirm that?
It's still coming up.
Okay,
yeah, we can see it now.
All right. So apology. I think my network might be a bit, shaky. All right. So I'll just show you through how the Power Apps looks like. Our speakers have spoken about the Power Apps, but when you come to the Power Apps, you see an interface such as this, where you have the home page, you have the create, where you can go on and create an application. Microsoft is actually, is all ended. So you also have a lane where you can, see materials for you to learn, from as you want to use them. Then you can go to the app. So the app basically shows you all of the apps you have built up. So you can look at to see an app from it. Because of our time from, then you have your table, which is leveraging Database. So you can also work directly on your Power Automate flow from here. These are the Automate. Then you have a solution, which allows you package your tool, like the first keynote speaker said. You can package your tool in manage or manage. Manage meaning it can be edited when taken to the other environment, or manage means you can still edit. So just that. Then you have other tools that you can leverage there. So this is basically how your Power Apps look like. Mayowa has taken us through the demo. So I won't bother doing a demo on this anymore. Okay, so Mayowa, please confirm that you're seeing Power Automate at the moment.
Yeah, so we are still actually seeing your Power Apps, but I think you want to move to Power Automate.
All right.
We are seeing your form gift ideas. Okay, now we can see your Power Automate.
Okay, seems my screen is lagging behind while I'm talking. All right, so your Power Automate is similar to your Power Apps also. And mind you, you can access all of this from your accounts, your office.com. So you go to office.com and you can see all your tools that you have here, your Power Apps, your Power Automate, your Power BI. Sorry to call. Mayowa, you can see this, right? My office account.
Yeah, I can see your office account.
Okay, so this just to let you know that once you click on office.com, you would come to this page and you can now access all of these tools directly without having to, cram or keep all of the URL in your head. But in case you want to know the URL, for Power Apps, it is make.powerapps.com. For Power Automate, it is make.powerautomate.com. Same for Power BI. So moving back to the slide, I'll just put this on present mode. Okay, so for Power BI, it is quite popular. Don't run through this because we have limited time, and also because Power BI is quite popular, right? A lot of people know what Power BI does. It is basically for visualizing and analyzing your data, and this can be integrated with your Power Apps and your Power Automate easily. That way, all your tools or everything connected at once without having to start writing codes, like Python and JavaScript, all of those. You can just easily integrate all of these tools together. And what makes Power BI stand out is that it can connect to any data source, a lot of data source. Then you can share insights with anyone. We all can agree that it's easy to share insights, with people in your organization. As much as just clicking a button, they are good. It also has that seamless integration. You can integrate with both in-house, tool, that is the Power Apps, Microsoft Teams, as well as other data sources like Oracle. You can connect to them to bring in your data, your Azure and the rest of them. You also can extend the model. So you also can bring core developers to come work with you, leveraging this tool. And similar to what Mayowa said, what you see is what you get design. Whichever way you design your Power BI, that's how it appears for you. And you can visualize hundreds and thousands of data on Power BI. Now leveraging the Azure Synapse and the Azure Data Lake, you can start working with thousands, if not millions of data. And there are a lot of native intelligence within the tool that you can leverage without having to start writing code. And like I mentioned, you can connect with big data support systems like the Azure, because a lot of people complain that the tool I used before can't connect to thousands of data. Which tool can I use? You can use the Power BI to visualize, and you can move all of your data to Azure Data Lake, where you can store thousands and thousands of data, or you can move them to SQL data warehouse. Okay, so moving on. Power Apps is great, Power Automate is very awesome, and Power BI is important and good. But working together makes them more powerful, because like Mayowa said, you can see the front end of the app, you can see the middleware, which is the Power Automate, and you can see your visualization of the data. And everything is now stored in a database. And mind you, are doing all of this without having to code, right? Without having to write that language. What this means is that even a business users can leverage all of this too. Even a business analyst or those normal businesses, the secretary can live, without having. So aside the first three that I mentioned, which are quite popular, Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Automate, we have extra two, which I'll talk about, Power Virtual Agent. I would have loved to do a demo, but my time is, I have less than 5 minutes. Okay, so talking about Power Virtual Agent is for building chatbots. And if you don't know what a chatbot is basically this tool that can help respond, to questions. So let's take your service providers, for example. You have people calling your service provider frequently every time to ask the same question. You can have people call your service provider to ask the same question 20 times a day. So you have different customers asking the service provider, this customer service agent, the same question over and over again. But that doesn't make that person efficient because it's answering the same question over and over again. Whereas you can leverage the chatbots where the customer can just go there and ask that question. The chatbot responds with that information that is needed, and everybody is happy. And one good thing about that is it improves customer satisfaction. So whereas your customer service agents might have to have shifts or might have to close for the day, the chatbot is always online 24/7. What this means is that even when your customer needs or the customer needs an particular information at the end of the day, during the other hours of the night, the chatbot is always available. And leveraging the new updates on the chatbot, you can do a lot of things on your chatbot at the moment. And mind you, you're doing all of this without coding. You can chat with the chatbot. You can speak to the chatbot. That's one of the updates that came. You can actually have the chatbot speak to you, play videos. These were things that Power Virtual Agent couldn't do, but it has been integrated. And mind you, once again, all of this without having to code. You can interface this to anywhere. You can build, and yes, because it's a Microsoft tool, does not mean you have to be connected to also a Microsoft tool. You can build this chatbot and display on your own demo website, on your own website that might not be a Microsoft product. So it is an application or a tool that can integrate with other tools. And it also has natural language conversation. This allows you interact with the chatbots, and you can even do different languages, right? It doesn't just have to be English. You can do multiple languages, and you can connect, like I said, to a lot of services. One good thing I love about the Power Virtual Agent is the powerful analytics behind it. Now, each day, it takes record of the metrics or the performance metrics. What this simply means is that you would want to know how many customers chatted in my chatbot today, which question was most asked, that is frequently asked questions, which questions were the customers most satisfied with. And now this allows you to take data-driven decisions, because seeing all of this, you can now better improve your services. Seeing that, oh, my customer is coming to ask about this particular service over and over again, it seems I need to improve services. Or saying that this question is not always answered, it seems I might need to find a better solution working around this. So that analytics makes you take better data-driven decisions, which helps your business. So you don't have to start, having a way to start building. And mind you, this analytics is done on Power BI that was integrated inside of Power Virtual Agent. So your chatbot is actually more like integrated of Power BI. And this is like a complete system, right? And it's actually very awesome. I would have loved to do a demo, but out of time. But I'll share the slide so that we can also see resources that can take us through learning all of this better. Then finally, to what we have, like I've mentioned, we have the Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, and Power BI, and now we have Power Pages. Power Pages is more like a local website that allows you to interface with customers outside the organization. I think someone mentioned that you might need to interface with customers outside and information from them. Power Pages is actually the tool that allows you to interface with them. Information that physically outside. Also, it's Dynamics 365 and other tools there. So coming to this, my final slide is just showing you that this tool doesn't stand alone. You can integrate with other tools out there, not just the Microsoft tools. You can integrate with third-party tools. You can implement AI. using AI builder, artificial intelligence, which is the new thing. And mind you can integrate ChatGPT with your Power Apps, with your Power Automate right now, which is live. You can start to keep going. And this I'll also end with a quote on chat, which is a Vice President Power Platform. 50% of workplace processes can be automated using today's technology. What this means is that a lot of organizations still do things manually, and you can automate those processes, leveraging Power Platform, leveraging all of these tools. And you also have a quote from the Automation Anywhere CEO talking about how our on-prem technology that seems safe would very soon become obsolete. And our Power Platform offers you this tool because it sits directly on cloud. You can leverage Power Platform from anywhere. You can access it from anywhere. And with that, we come to the end of the section. So I'll just take one or two questions as we call it a day. Thanks a lot for attending this section. Okay, so I'll just take the chat section. Mayowa, do you have questions? Okay, yes, you can reach out to me. I'll give you the slides. I'm Oluwatobi Yusuf. You can check that on LinkedIn. Okay, Freedom.
All right. Thank you very much for that presentation. I just have one simple question here. Regarding the virtual agent, right? Very much interested.
Okay.
Maybe if you can briefly highlight some of the steps that you would be involved in to actually train that virtual agent. I believe that the underpinning technology would be obviously machine learning. So it would obviously the bot needs to be trained. So how quick and easy can you actually establish that using the virtual agent? Thank you.
All right. So let me see if this can take me here. Confirm, can I see my screen? Hello, Mayowa. All right.
Yeah, we
so I
can
don't know
see
if
screen. We're showing slides.
Power Virtual Agent.
Yeah, you're on Power Virtual Agent now.
Okay, so thank you. So Freedom, speaking to what you said, this is simply how it works. You have topics. So topics are more like conversation node, right? So, at the moment, like I said, this is the tool that keeps evolving, right? It keeps evolving. And yes, you're right. The future is it's learning from itself and, adopting all of those changes. But the Power Platform, the Power Virtual Agent, it's still evolving, it's still getting to that place. So at the moment, how it works is you have a conversation. You can come in and put in different topics. If you have frequently asked questions outside, you can bring them in. And if your customer asks questions as regards those questions you put, it responds to it, right? And like I said, you can pick all of those analytics, look at the questions they are weren't, answered properly. Because if the customer is not satisfied, there's an option for him to escalate. It can escalate, and escalation takes him to an agent to answer that question. So at the moment, how it works is you look at the analytics, you come back and you can always improve on this, looking at the analytics, check out for those that were escalated, work around them and optimize them. But it's getting to the point where it begins to learn from itself. But at the moment, you always need to look at the analytics to improve on it. So that's what we have in the Power Virtual Agent. And mind you, the reason we're having this is for the low code or the student developers, business users to leverage this tool. So, but like I said, it's evolving. There was a time we didn't have conversations, couldn't speak, you can only type text, but now you have audio, you can put videos and things like that. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, very much. Thanks for that. Then my follow-up question would be obviously learning that obviously this is work in development. Would it then be possible to interface the chatbot probably with so rather the virtual agent with suppose say for example ChatGPT to answer some of the questions probably that you might have not considered when designing your agent. Is that possible?
Yes, it's very, very possible. I think someone did. I'm not sure, but I'm sure someone did. Someone recently did a video around that. One of the MVPs, right? So how that works is your Power Virtual Agent at the moment, like I said, sees the analytics from Power BI. And within your Power Virtual Agent, apologies, my network is really shaky and bad. I would have loved to show you how to integrate, but my network is bad, so I'll just answer the question. Now, your Power Virtual Agent can integrate with Power Automate, right? So what that means is that from your Power Virtual Agent, your chatbot, once you ask a question, yeah, it can come to, once you ask a question, it can go to Power Automate to look for the answer. And now Power Automate now is integrated or can be integrated with ChatGPT. Yeah, can be integrated with ChatGPT. So once you ask questions from your chatbot, it goes to Power Automate. Power Automate can be connected to ChatGPT to get the response and send it back to your Power Virtual Agent. So yes, it can be integrated with ChatGPT, leveraging the integration with Power Automate that already exists on it. And someone did this around, I think someone did something around this. I really can't remember the name, but if I get that, sure, I'll drop that on Twitter or all of those. So you can always follow my social media handles.
Okay, very good. Well done. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks for attending this section. So I'll be handing over to the next speaker. All right, thank you.